Hey everyone, welcome to Watch It Paint It. This video we're going to be painting another hero from the others, Seven Sins by Simon Games, and this is Rose, a sort of goth octopus lady, another hero. Just showing you the sculpt here. This is completely unprimed. I am going to be using Vallejo's game colour as both a base coat and a primer. So I'm going to be using pale flesh. This model's a lot of skin and she's sort of gothy, alien-y, monstery, pale sort of coloured skin. So choosing this, I'm just going to paint all of her using this pale flesh. So this is going to be the base coat for her skin. That's sort of her arms, her face, her legs, chest, and also just a primer for all of the other parts that I'll then paint over, such as this, using Army Painter's Dead Black. So this cannot be used as a primer, so that's the reason I painted all of it flesh to begin with. And I'm starting off with the tops of her socks. That was a difficult word, right? Top of her socks. Then I did her sort of heels in Dead Black as well. And then I'd say the majority of her skirt is also going to be in black. I'm going to leave the frills around the bottom to do in a slightly different colour. And then she's got some sort of jewellery hanging down off of the skirt as well. I can't really tell what it is in the art or on the sculpt, but nevertheless I'll paint that in a slightly different colour to add some contrast. Then I'll be moving on to her top. If you've not noticed, I did all of the priming / base coat using the Regiment brush, and then everything else since then has been my detail brush. So again, this is the others model, and these are quite small. I find them much more fiddly than the Zombicide ones, so I often use just my detail brush. Also doing her some black hair, and then she's got black gloves on as well, both hands, and she's sort of pulling it out of her mouth, pulling her glove off with her teeth. It's quite difficult to see the differentiation there, and it looks a little bit weird, like she's got a really long finger. And then after that, I'll probably paint her lipstick the same, but might not show that on camera, apologies, but she's got black lipstick as well. Then I'm just going to, paint the base in already while I've got the black out and plenty of black on my palette. So just gave her a base coat as well. I haven't painted in her lipstick, and this is why, because I wanted to do her teeth first so I didn't get white all over the black lipstick that I paint on. So this is my insane detail brush, so I've dropped down a level, and I'm just trying to put a little bit of white primer, but that's by Vallejo, but any white will do as long as you've primed it now. And this is just to give her some teeth, some nice shiny pearly teeth there. After that, Dead Black's out once again, and now I'm going to do the lipstick as I mentioned. Again, this is my insane detail brush. This is really small fiddly work. Found this very difficult. And now if you do make a mistake, you can tidy it up just with a pale flesh. Again, it's quite easy to tidy up, but just take your time. The lips stick out a little bit, so you can just about catch some paint on. And you've got to remember this model is really small, and if you like us, you're going to want to play this model on the table. So to be honest, the bigger the lips, at least you'll be able to see them at a distance. White primer next, and well, again, and this is to paint on some of the decorations on her person. So the top, the collar, the neck of her. I'm an expert at women's clothing. The bit around the top of her top is going to be done in white, and that's going to be really nice, adding a little bit of detail, looking a bit like a maid, I guess, to some extent there, like a vintage maid costume sort of thing. And then I'm going to use Machinegun Metal, and that's to do a sort of belt buckle, and this, as I mentioned, like jewellery, blades, something around her skirt. I can't tell in the artwork what this is, and I can't tell what it is on the model either, but this is just going to add a little bit of interesting colour. Then the insane detail brush, I'm just going to dot her in 2 ball earrings, one in each ear, just very carefully, just adding a little bit of detail. Then I'm going to do it off camera, so just to annoy everybody really, and I'll leave this footage in just to remind myself I must do better, apologies. Necromancer's Cloak, dark grey by the Army Painter. Just going to be adding in a few more of the details, so there's a little bit the top row, so maybe that Machinegun Metal was the same colour. It's really I'm struggling to tell. I don't know what that is supposed to be. In the comments below, do let me know if you happen to randomly know what it's supposed to be. I'm also going to be painting on, as I mentioned before, that frill that's running under her skirt, just around it's either the edge of the skirt or a sort of underskirt, but I'm going to do that in Necromancer's Cloak, a really, really dark grey, and I'm also going to do her socks in the same colour. So found this a lot with the others. I think Rocco was the same, and there's a few more characters that are just sort of blacks and greys. It's especially in this pack of heroes. It's a very, very similar colour palette. It's a little bit testing, let's say, on my painting abilities. Blacks and greys are quite difficult to do, I think, especially to highlight up. And with that in mind, I invited Benson over, so the hands changed. He unscrewed the model off of my hobby holder, goes straight onto his crazily bright hobby holder. He loves bright colours. So this is Benson. So big up Benson. Do leave him a thumbs up below if you like him coming and helping me, letting me get more content out. So he was just doing some highlighting using Necromancer's Cloaks on each of the folds in her skirt. And then for the second level, basically going to go round and round the same places using a thinner and thinner brush, thinner and thinner strokes, just highlighting lighter and lighter. So he's mixed in about 25% Filthy Suit. That's a light grey by the Army Painter. So he's just making lighter greys. Then after that, he's going to go for about 50-50, half Necromancer's Cloak, half Filthy Suit. And he's just carrying on highlighting, just moving towards the edge of each of those folds. This paint will be nice and wet, quite watered down, so these colours will be blending well and just getting a nice blend on those highlights. And then the final highlight will be just neat Filthy Suit, and it'll be just edge highlighting this along sort of the edge of the top, the edge of any of the folds, down the very, very centre of each of those folds. Pleats sounds like a good word. Yeah, let's go with that. The pleat of her skirt, each one of those. Just adding a final bit of light shining on all of those edge highlights. Surivor Shader is going to be out next, and he's just going to be blending that. He wasn't happy enough with the blend of those colours, despite being very, very good at highlighting and blending. He knows when he's done something a bit off. So black shade there, and it's just using that wash just to blend those colours in a little bit better. Then he's going to use some flesh wash, watered down. He added a little bit of water to this just to try and make it a little bit more runny and blend a little bit better. And he's going to be adding this to all of the skin, so her knees, her chest, her face, that sort of thing. And then once that's dry, on to doing some highlighting, just using the base coat again, pale flesh. He's just been painting back in the base colour of her skin, minus sort of dodging those recess areas anywhere you'd like the shade to settle. So the sort of backs of knees, under her kneecaps, around where her chest meets her top, that sort of areas, under her cheekbones, her ears, those things, really going to make the details pop back out. Then he's going to lighten the pale flesh using white primer, just a white, 50-50, so he's making quite a big jump. This model, as I mentioned, is really, really small, so there's only so much work you can do on this model in highlights with a camera between you. I think you could get quite a lot if you were very, very talented and didn't have a camera. Gory Red's going to get mixed with black. He's going to make a really, really, really dark red just to highlight up her lips. So he's trying to make it look a little bit like lips and lipstick, and that's the highlight for that done. And then the best part of the model, here we go. He's going to be doing these tentacles that she's got. He's starting with Deep Shader. This is a dark brown wash by the Army Painter, and he's using a really, really cheap value brush because that's perfect for this sort of work. You're not even slightly damaging your nice brushes. So check the description below if you'd like to pick up some cheap brushes with 10% discount, I think. And then, as you can see, he's doing multiple coats. He's letting it dry, and then he's adding another coat. So each time he's moving down a segment of the tentacles, and then he's going to mix in some Surivor Shader. That's the black wash now, and he's blending that from the tip of the tentacle upwards. He's making it really, really dark towards the edges, and as you can see, it's lighter and lighter as you go up. Then a final one is just neat Surivor Shader, so just a black shader on the very tips of those two tentacles, and just blending it up slightly just to make it look more realistic, lifelike sort of thing. And that's the tentacles completely done. After that, he's just going to touch up my dead black. I've just remembered while he was here, he was asking, oh, do you want me to do the base? What would you like doing with it? I didn't realise I'd actually already done it. So that's how badly I did it, that he couldn't tell A, I'd done it, or B, how I'd done it. So he's fixed that for me. Benson doing a base? What is the world coming to? And that is Rose completely finished. Apologies, I lost the track of time, but this was not long. It was under an hour. I think she looks decent. She looks really, really good on the table. Her skin this close under the bright light doesn't look as nice as we have done. Check any of Benson's other videos if you'd like to see how to do skin a lot better, but check those tentacles. They look fantastic this close, and they look great on the table as well. That is a really, really good example of building up shade to get a nice blend. Took a lot of time, took a lot of coats, but it looked great by the end. Thank you all very much for watching.